Hi guys, this is a request from my son to do a walkthrough of a game that I've been playing recently, so if you found this, it's well done. I'm not a content creator or anything, this is purely just to walk through how to play. So I'm going to start a new settlement, normal difficulty. I think Pioneer is just a bit too easy. Pick a random name, small. I like the idyllic valley terrain, but today we're going to go random and we're going to pick and settle in the first town that we get, so it will be a bit more challenging than normal. What you want to do if you're just starting out is go on the easiest difficulty and choose idyllic valley. But yeah, this is the little intro. Quite nice, lovely artwork. It's a really good game actually. I'm not sure if it's done by the people who did Settlers, but it feels very Settlers.
And if we had any coin to our name, the taxman would appear, demanding it for the crown. The nobles hid behind the safety of their walls and did nothing when raiders pillaged the outskirts of the city.
So in this game it's kind of a little city builder, survival. You know, your usual, you've got to get stone, wood, food, keep your villagers happy, but you also get periodically attacked by raiders, and sometimes later on in the game other towns, so proper armies. So you can turn all of the violence off if you want and just go for the city builder aspect, which is still, to be honest, quite challenging. You run out of resources and you have to set up trade, and you know, it is quite fun just to do no violence, so you don't have to invest in the barracks and the defences and the walls, and you can just do a chill run. So now it's randomly generating a map. This is completely random, based on the presets. Okay, so this is how you start out. This is your little town hall. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking for resources. I know that I'll need clay, so there's clay there. Ooh, there's wild animals, so I don't want to settle near wild animals because they'll start attacking me. So, look, little camp of raiders. So throughout the map you get these hostile camps. Early on they're actually quite lethal, so you want to stay away from them. If you send your villager near, they'll just die straight away. They get shot by the archers or attacked by the raiders. This looks quite a nice area because I've got 1, 2, 3 hunting grounds. So that would be leather and meat. I've just got to be wary though. Over this side there's raiders, and this side there's raiders. So let's yeah, I think I'm going to go here, to be honest. Do I have any herbs though? Not many herbs. Okay, so our villagers are going to stink. Basically you use herbs to make soap. Ah, there's some there, but that's miles away. Is this a... Yeah, I think if I dump my base here, I've got clay, herbs. A bit close to wolves though. And then we got some fish for later. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to throw myself into this bit in the middle of raiders and wolves and just see what happens. I mean, it could be a very short game, but let's go. So I'm just going to pause as soon as we start, because time's quite important on this one. So pause stops it. Basic controls are you can have 3 speed, 1 speed, play or pause. You'll notice everyone's unhappy, and they'll tell you what they need. So priority at the moment is getting them a house, getting them clean. Obviously they've been on a long walk from wherever and they stink. Little tip, if you are building your town hall at the start, for some reason it only assigns 2/3 of your workforce. I just whack up to 12 because it's the only thing you need to build, and you know it's a priority that you get your base started. So with this tool, I like to deselect berries. Reason being, if you have berries selected when you want to harvest, sometimes it gets rid of the bushes that the herbs grow from, and obviously you want to be able to repeatedly harvest them. So if you destroy the bush, you'll lose the fruit that's on it. So yeah, you just either click or you can press H as the hotkey, and we'll need wood to build this. It says we need 16 wood. It's prioritized, it doesn't really matter because it's the only building, but that is useful for later if you have multiple buildings and you think, actually I need this building to finish first. Just pop prioritized, ramp up the amount of assigned workers, and if you don't have enough workers, you can use this little tool and you can take workers off other things to prioritize. But yeah, let's go for it, and I'll try and talk through as I do this. So what I'm thinking in my head is, like, you know, where am I going to have the houses? Where am I going to have the storage? How am I going to set out the roads? So at this bit, if I drop it to 1 speed, what I kind of do is I go, right, well, the wood's going to be here, so I'm just going to kind of set out so that's going to be the area where I get the wood from to build stuff. This is going to be where I'm going to be fishing and getting some herbs collected. If you don't know, these willow bushes, you can weave willow together to make baskets. Baskets make your villagers carry extra, so they have to do less running around and they can carry more resources. So as we can see here, these little chaps and chapettes are getting their chop on. I love the little animations they do. I don't actually think it's necessary, but it just adds a little character to it. So this is a boar patch. Little boars will appear here occasionally. If villagers get too close to them, they'll attack, but usually they're not hostile unless you kind of purposely go in their area. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm more concerned about, there was some wolves down here when we started the map. Yeah, you lose your wall hacks when you start. So if you want to explore an area, you can put a flag down. I want to just check what's down here. I forgot, so I'm just going to put a little exploration point. And when the guys aren't busy, one of them will just wander off down there. Yeah, you can see this guy's going off for a wander, and that's how you reveal the map early on. Later on you can send out your army or whatever. So I'm just going to pause here. The town centre is built, so this is where you find all your basic needs and the settlement status. It's a nice little hub. Also tells you what you need to get to tier 2. Progressing the tiers, just do as fast as you like. If you want to stay on a certain tier though, what I would do is turn this off. Okay, so right at the top, it's really hard to see for a new player, but if you turn off automatic building upgrades like this, it will keep you in the tier that you're in. So, you know, for example, if you were to have a really nice town and you had all the amenities around you that you could need for a tier 1 town, but you don't have anything to satisfy tier 2 people, you wouldn't want to get to tier 2 before you're ready. Tier 2 people demand different resources to tier 1 people, so just keep that in mind. I keep it on because I can kind of keep up with the pace of where things are going, and I'm already thinking about clay and yew and things like that will be useful for tier 2. But if you're completely brand new to it, just be wary. I think that's a trap I fell into, where I kind of teched too quickly and then everyone started starving because I hadn't made my farms or my barns or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is just going to carry on with the auto building, but I recommend you actually turn it off if you're a new player. It gives you that control of upgrading when you want. So here we got some nice herbs. I'm just going to pop a forager shack there to get them. So forager shack is the main way of collecting herbs. there's a fishing shack. This is all in the food production tab. You just pop them down and it'll tell you what you need above the building. You just keep periodically checking that you've got enough on harvest. And while they're messing on with that, I'll just start building the town. So I always stick the town just a bit further out, and that'll make sense later on in the playthroughs. And I like the block of 8 houses with a road going around them. There are certain buildings that increase what we call desirability, so a person's want to live there basically. Desirability will influence whether you can tech up or not. So I usually leave a little gap in the middle, and I shove like a shrine in there that also satisfies spirituality need that comes later, or I'll stick a pub in the middle, or a bakery. They're all like small buildings that fit in that square. A pub increases desirability, increases people's happiness, obviously, just like it does in real life. And yeah, there's the healer house, so makes people better. You can also stick in a festival pole. I haven't seen anyone use it. They just kind of walk up to it and walk around it. I haven't seen any kind of animation with it, but yeah, that's a thing. Increases desirability and entertainment. There is an entertainment section here, so that's quite a nice one to get early if you can afford the gold. So here we go. This building has no firewood, so I go in resources and I go, this produces firewood, so I'm going to stick that over here. And this building's ready now, so it gives you a nice overview. Like, the tutorials are really crisp, as and when you need them. I hate it when you have to go looking for tutorials. I leave them enabled even now, because sometimes some weird stuff happens with a building and I'm like, what's going on? And yeah, I forget that there's certain things about the game that you just can't remember, so I just leave them on. They're quite nice just as a reminder. So basically what that's saying is you can use this retarget and you can choose where you want to fish. You'll notice there's this little fishing icon here, shoal of fish. That suggests that there's a bonus yield. You can see here, plus 50. When you position that as well, I try and get as many of these blue things as possible. I don't know if it makes a difference really. I honestly don't. I can see the numbers kind of moving. Can you see at the bottom? Fishing area, fishing productivity. So I could kind of get 29,410. But on the grand scheme of things, I've had the same productivity from one shack if I just kind of dump it in the water. So I don't really know how that works properly. But yeah, maybe someone else will be able to tell me if you're watching this. Yeah, so same thing with the herb. Just pop it down wherever. A little trick that I learned from someone else's video actually when I was researching how to play this game. You can click on a blueberry bush and you can move it, so you can stick it wherever you like in terms of harvesting. What I like to do is just kind of create like a little patch of berries like all together near, so I can capture them all. So yeah, that's solved that problem of the hoop being up there. I want to get the herbs and I want to get the yew and also the greens as well, all in one shot. That'd be amazing. And I've just spotted there's some deer here, so I'm going to make a hunter's cabin. We've got another alert. What's this one? Do not have access to water. So, resources again. Water is a resource. Basic well. And this will introduce you to the water bonus feature. So each area of land has its own dryness or dampness, whatever you want to, humidity, I don't know. It's not, saturation is probably the better word. Yeah, so you just stick it on the most blue bit that's close to your town. Just bearing in mind it's got a range around these wells, and the way I structure my towns is I'll have a market and a well here, and then I'll have the houses around it. So I'm going to stick it in the middle, just so if I'm using the grid at the moment, like bang smack in the middle there, and that'll make sense when you see how I build up the town. There is a graveyard you need to build at some point, but I usually leave it until someone's actually died. There's no point in having a graveyard if everyone's alive. There's no demand for it unless someone's died and they smell. Rotting bodies on the roads, I think, cause disease. I don't know, because I usually build a graveyard. I haven't tried to create a plague with dead bodies hanging around, so I don't know if that happens. Might do. I need some storage. I can see these guys are running backwards and forwards quite a lot. So what I'm going to do while I build that storage is send my little donkey cart over to there. And what this does is it acts as like a temporary storage yard. You can see you can stick everything in here. Once I've built food storage, I'll turn food storage off. And once I've built a storage yard, I'll turn usable items off. Because what I want this to be useful for is speeding up building walls or building structures that are far away from my base. It kind of helps because they'll farm the thing, run to the donkey, build the thing. Farm the thing, run to the donkey, build the thing. It's not a donkey, it's a couple of oxen. But yeah. So that's briefly explain that mechanic. In terms of storage then, I like to have basic storage, you know, just like wood and rocks near. So this is literally just going to contain wood and rocks and any kind of raw materials. And when that's built, I will turn off any other kind of storage to that building. Anything precious I'll stick near my town hall, and I'll build a couple of towers around my town hall. It's very rare that raiders come in and start stealing wood. They don't really care. Look at all these blueberry bushes, look. I think I can pull all these in. What I don't want to do though is just go over there and start moving them with all these piggies. So I'm going to let the hunters go in first, and then I'll start moving the bushes around. But yeah, there's tons of blueberry bushes. That's amazing. Cool. So yeah, I'll set up a hunter circle there. And what that does is the hunter will go over and start shooting them. And it usually focuses onto the hunter rather than onto the people. And I'll start moving these blueberry bushes into a little patch down here. And I'll put a fence around them as well. Fences keep off wildlife. Yeah, they just stop deer from wandering into your fields and eating stuff. So there's people that are going to die of dehydration if I leave them without water for too long. So I'm just going to prioritise that. I've got plenty selected in terms of harvesting, and it looks like I've got an extra person in my village. So I'm going to have a look at what people are assigned to. It's really important that these numbers remain white. If they go red or orange, then you just don't have enough to do what you need to do. So just keep these white. If this number goes orange, just assign more builders. Yeah, if this number goes orange, reduce the amount of builders. It's really, I find this so critical that you have enough labourers, or your whole town just grinds to a halt. And people start starving, getting dehydrated, or not being able to harvest. And my dinner is ready, so I'm going to pause, and I'll be right back. 2 seconds.